Hey, what up, guys? So coming to you this morning, I'm gonna do my May Fighters of the Month. I'm sorry I'm lagging. It's early July. I think July 2nd right now, and I'm barely getting to my May Fighter of the Month. But you know what? June was a pretty busy month, and I want to stick to doing these kind of things. It's a lot the way baseball, football, basketball. They always have Players of the Week, Players of the Month. Boxing doesn't have a season. Some weeks are dry, some weeks aren't. So, and you don't get a lot of top tier fighters fighting every week. So I'm not definitely never going to do a weekly fighter of the week. But fighter of the month, there's a lot of fights that happen in a span of a month. And I'll break down my top five here, let you guys know what I thought for the month of May and who the best guys were. I need to get caught up, so I'm doing that. So I want to throw out a special shout out to a guy that didn't crack the top five, but he came close. And that's newly crowned WBO super featherweight champion. That's 130 pounds. Jamal Herring. He scored an upset 12-round unanimous decision over Masayuki Ito on May 25th on ESPN. It was an upset, a pretty decent sized upset. I don't think a lot of people saw Herring winning this fight, especially Ito being such a grinder that comes straight at you. And then also the fact he did it on his daughter, on the anniversary of his daughter passing away. I thought that was a really nice story, and to dig deep and to do that. So I want to throw a special shout out to him because he didn't crack the top five. So number five is Deontay Wilder for his brutal first round knockout of Dominic Breazeale. Much props on just the way he fucking finished the fight. The thing about a guy like Wilder, the change that I see in him, I'm not sure if he's the best still. The he's got fucking ridiculous power. I mean, ridiculous power. I think we did know that already. But, he's going for it more, and I love that. He's really pushing himself harder. But I think the thing is, in a fight like this, I know Breazeale's like, I said it. Breazeale's, so what? He beat Dominic Breazeale. I called that he was going to knock him out early. It's not really the surprise of that, is that there's a lot of pressure that comes in between big fights, when you're taking on a guy like Breazeale. These are the kind of fights you get upset in. Look at Anthony Joshua with Andy Ruiz. We'll talk about that fight in a little bit. This was just a fucking impressive performance by Wilder. And I know people don't watch every little detail like I do of the fight. But Wilder got hit after he hurt Breazeale the first time and jumped on him. He got hit with a couple shots that woke his ass up. And he needed to take a step back in order to come in and fucking land that big right. And he did that, and it was a big-time knockout. So he finishes number five. The reason why he's so down on the list, even though it was an impressive performance, is Dominic Breazeale's not a big deal. He was in a top 10 heavyweight. He's not a top 15 heavyweight. His claim to fame was losing to Anthony Joshua in 7 rounds a couple years ago. He hasn't done anything else. So, wasn't a big-name opponent, and that's why Deontay is at number five. Finishing number four on the month is... It's almost like a tie for third, but he's just slightly at number four, is undefeated, or not undefeated, but WBO Super Bantamweight Champion, that's 122, Emmanuel Navarrete, for his brutal 12th round TKO of Isaac Dogboe in their rematch. This fight was on May 11th on an undercard of ESPN undercard. Navarrete beat Dogboe last year by an upset 12 round unanimous decision in December. So coming into this fight, there was a lot of people thought Dogboe was going to get him back because he was overlooking Navarrete. I thought because of stylistically, I thought Navarrete was going to beat him again, but I thought the fight would be closer. Now, I was right on Navarrete winning, but I did not see him just absolutely annihilating Dogboe, which he did. He beat the shit out of Dogboe. This fight should have been stopped earlier on. Dogboe's dad waited way too long, and it was just an impressive performance, and Navarrete deserves big ups because coming into the fight, he was my number 2 super bantamweight, and Dogboe was my number 4. These are 2 top 5 guys going at it, and he beat the shit out of Dogboe. So he proved he's a better man. So big time win. He finishes fourth in the month of May. Finishing the month of May third is WBC super featherweight champion. That's 130. Miguel Berchelt for his dominating 6th round TKO victory over Francisco Vargas in their rematch. They fought in January of 2017, where Berchelt scored a major upset over Vargas, who was then undefeated, and took the WBC title with that win. Vargas, that was his only loss heading into this fight. And heading into this fight, Vargas, because of his resume and because 130 is so wide open, Vargas was still the number 3 super featherweight in the world for me. He's still top 5 guy. And Berchelt was number 1, though. And Burchelt this time just left no doubt. He proved to everybody, hey, the first time wasn't just a shocking upset. I'm the better fighter. I'm the bigger guy. I'm stronger. And he was young. He's younger too, and he dominated Vargas. Vargas was landing good shots. He was in the fight because that's the kind of fighter he is. He throws a lot of punches, but Burchelt wasn't letting that belt get away. He dominated the action, landed the harder shots, and forced Vargas' corner to throw in the towel after 6. So big time win for Miguel Burchelt right there. And then finishing the month number 2, and it's kind of hard to put him at number 2. He's very close to number 1. It's Julian J. Rock Williams for his upset 12-round unanimous decision over undefeated Jarrett Hurd. He's not just Julian J. Rock Williams. He is the newly unified WBA and IBF unified super welterweight champion. He took the 2 belts that Jarrett Hurd had. This was a big upset. I had J. Rock ranked at number 10 coming in the world, and Jarrett Hurd was absolutely my number 1 super welterweight in the world at 154. And Williams just went in and outworked him. He hurt him early, knocked him down, and he was in Hurd's hometown. And I think Hurd was overlooking him, yes, but this was just an impressive performance. He dominated the action. He was beating him to the punch. A hard-fought but deserving 12-round decision to become the new unified champ. Big-time win for J-Rock, so he finishes number 2. But slightly beating him out for number 1, no surprise here, is Canelo Alvarez, the unified middleweight champion, for his victory over Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs was the IBF champ coming in. Canelo was the WBC and WBA unified, so 3 belts on the line. It was a battle of my number 1 and my number 3 middleweights in the world. Just a big-time fight, and I thought there was a chance Canelo could get beat in this one, and you know what? He just dictated the pace and never let the pace get away from him. He never let Danny Jacobs take over the fight. There were some close rounds, some that I gave to Jacobs. But at the end of the day, I pretty much had it 8-4, 9-3. It wasn't Canelo's best win of his career, but it was a solid, controlled fight where he dictated the pace, landed the better shots, the harder shots, landed more, and also he was very good defensively in this fight. And, it was a fight that I thought was going to be closer, and Canelo just controlled the action. It was a very good win over a top-tier fighter who's also a lot bigger than Canelo. Danny Jacobs is going to be a solid super middleweight when he moves up to 168. So, fighter of the month, congratulations, Canelo Alvarez, the unified middleweight champion of the world. And that's it for the May fighter of the month. I'll hit you with the June one later on today. True Boxing, been hit with the truth.